Does a lawsuit put one of the biggest developments in downtown Duluth in jeopardy? We'll keep you in touch with the very latest.
And a homecoming for a Minnesota music legend. We'll have a live report with details. Good evening, I'm Dave Jensch.
And I'm Michelle Lee. Tonight, one of the biggest developments planned for Duluth downtown is facing a major setback.
The company working on the Duluth Technology Village had hoped to get to work next week, but a court decision has delayed the multi-million-dollar project.
Our Kim Kaiser joins us from the scene with details on what this means for the future of the Tech Village. Kim.
That's right, Dave and Michelle. As many people walk down this stretch of Superior Street, they see a lot of, well, old buildings. City officials had hoped to start demolishing the Wabasha bookstore by next week. Now it looks like that might not be possible. A lawsuit filed by the building owner hopes to save this building and others like it down the street in the name of historic preservation.
It's a cohesive group of historic buildings that really reflect the history of the commercial industry here in Duluth.
That's why the Wabasha bookstore building owner Eric Ringsred says he wants to stop the demolition of the block of buildings on East Superior Street. Last week, the city took the first chunk out of the adult bookstore building. City officials are getting ready for the new Technology Village, a high-tech building with modern architecture. That would mean the end for a block of buildings eligible for the National Register of Historic Places. Many of these buildings have been around since the turn of the century.
Has a lot richer character to the architecture down there, and that's something that we only have so much of it, and to lose it would be a negative, I think, to the community as far as losing part of our history, and it's something we'll never get back again.
The president of A&L Development, that's the company that's working on the Technology Village, has responded to this in court documents. He says the company has sunk $1.7 million into this project, and they could lose another $750,000 if construction doesn't begin October 1st. Now, the next hearing is set for September 24th and 25th. That's what makes the deadline here so tight. In the meantime, the owner of this building that has filed the lawsuit has 5 days to post a $25,000 bond as part of the temporary restraining order. Back to you, Dave and Michelle.
The building of the Technology Village is a $33 million project.
City officials have said they hope to open the building by April of next year. On the Iron Range tonight, dozens of layoffs or overtime cuts. That's what the rank and file of Mintac workers are considering. Mintac of Mountain Iron plans to shut down a production line. Union workers met today in Eveleth to discuss the options set forth by company management. A Mintac spokesperson says record levels of low-price steel imports are forcing the mine to cut production levels. Mintac's Line 3 will be shut down October 5th, and an operating plan is expected to be finalized by Friday.
Meanwhile, a Duluth company with a history of name changes and cutbacks over the years plans to close its doors. Beckley Carty's new owner has announced plans to close its customer service center in downtown Duluth. 53 employees will be out of work. Some may relocate within the company. Beckley Carty is an educational supply company owned by School Specialty Incorporated of Appleton. While one business leaves the Twin Ports, another is moving in. Partridge River broke ground today on Superior's Connors Point. The supplier of kitchen cabinets and furniture plans to hire 50 workers. Base pay begins at $9 an hour.
To politics now. Take it to the bank is the campaign message being taken around Minnesota by gubernatorial candidate Norm Coleman. Coleman carried a sample check to Duluth today promising to return money to taxpayers. He says he has prepared a state budget that would balance even with a tax cut.
This budget that we're presenting balances. It's prudent. It's responsible. It balances not just in years 1 and 2, but throughout the term, going on ad infinitum into the future.
Coleman, who's currently the mayor of St. Paul, is taking on Attorney General Skip Humphrey and former pro wrestler Jesse the Body Ventura. Well, directors of the DEC are getting ready to roll out the red carpet for favorite son Bob Dylan.
His musical career has spanned 4 decades, beginning right here in the Northland, and he's coming to town October 22nd.
Now, one of our Dylan fans, Jason Rice, is at the Duluth Armory, where Dylan experienced one of his biggest musical inspirations. Jason, why is the Armory so important?
Dave and Michelle, the building behind me, the Duluth Armory, is important because it was in 1959 that a young Bob Dylan, back then known as Robert Zimmerman, took in a Buddy Holly concert. He was in the front row, only about 3 feet away from the star. and he says that experience changed his musical career. But now he's the star coming to town, and his fans say this has been a long time coming.
And I just wanted to say that one time when I was about 16 or 17 years old, I went to see Buddy Holly play at in a Duluth National Guard Armory, and I was 3 feet away from him.
Bob Dylan's career has spanned 41 albums, many awards, and countless live concerts. And at long last, the Northland native is bringing his music and his poetic style to the Deck Arena live. This is one homecoming Dylan fans say they can't miss.
No reason to get excited.
It's been a long time coming, and I think he's going to handle it just in his own way. He'll pull in, do a good show, and then wherever he's going tomorrow, he'll just pull out, you know. I don't think there's going to be any shaking hands with the mayor.
Probably the biggest event we could book. You know, just his connection to being from Duluth, his status in the music industry, his status in the history of entertainment, the history of rock and roll, I think makes it probably the most significant event we could ever do.
Dylan's childhood home in Duluth's East Hillside is a special point of interest for many tourists.
People up from Canada, we see people from all over the sites. Oh, they come from all over, not just from Minnesota or all over the place.
And do they start snapping pictures?
Oh, they're snapping pictures all the time. And
Mark Bennett organizes a local Dylan festival each year. He's been to many of his concerts and says all Dylan wants to do is come home and play music like he'd do for any crowd.
I'm not gonna give any sentimental speech or give a press conference. He doesn't give press conferences.
Right.
He may say a word or two on stage. Normally he doesn't, but he may acknowledge that he's back in town.
And David Michelle, I guess we'll find out if he reminisces on stage on October 22nd when he's actually here. One thing's for sure, there will be a lot of his fans on hand to take in this history-making event. Back to you in the studio.
Hey, Jason, as you've been talking to people today, has anybody given you an idea why it's taken so long to get Dylan back here?
Well, that's an interesting question, Dave, because it has to do with marketing. His management, it really has, it's really their call as to where he goes and how many people he's going to play for. And Duluth being a little bit smaller venue, seating just under 8,000 people at the Deck Arena, tends not to be at the top of the list. So there's a pecking order as to what venues get what big-name concerts, and he's one of them. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jason. Well, I tried to pull in all my markers today to get a ticket. Ain't gonna happen, but I'll tell you what, tickets will go on sale Saturday, September 26th at 9 a.m. sharp. All seats will cost you $35.
Okay, there you go. Well, up next, the dream house of the future.
From a revolutionary indoor, kid-safe swimming pool to television in every room. We'll take you on a tour of a house on Pike Lake that's fit for the lifestyles of the rich and famous. And George, it's actually a fine evening for getting out of the house and enjoying this weather.
Well, it is, although I have to tell you, if you're with us at 5, we saw a fog bank coming across the lake. Well, here it is. It's like a page out of that Stephen King story, The Mist. We'll have more on the mist and the warm temperatures and the weekend when we come back.
Keeping you in touch with today's news with Michelle Lee, Dave Jensch, meteorologist George Kessler, and Tom Hansen Sports. You're watching News 6 at 6.
George's Garden is built and maintained by the London Road Garden Center. For more information, log on to our website at www.kbjr.com.
All 98 stock must go and no reasonable offer refused during Benna Ford's 32nd annual tent sale. One big Benna liquidation location in Two Harbors. Our Superior store will be closed and all inventory from both Benna clearance centers shipped, driven, and trucked into Two Harbors for this sale only. Now through Monday, 5 days to sell, 500 new and used cars and trucks. Financing from 0.9%, bank reps will be working overtime to accept your immediate credit approval. Discover Benna Ford's 32nd annual tent sale at our Benna Ford Factory Authorized Clearance Center, Two Harbors.
Out here, it seems the wind never stops blowing. They call it the velocity zone. Build and remodel homes here, and you soon learn what you can and can't trust. Contractor John Miranda trusts only one window, Andersen. That's why if you ask him to use anything other than Andersen, he'll ask you to sign a release. So his reputation remains solid. Worry-proof, time-proof, Andersen Windows.
For the best seat in the house, always at matinee prices. come to Happy Sleeper, where you can custom order your sofa direct from the factory at an unaccustomed low price.
How can Happy Sleeper offer furniture prices this low? Well, it's simple. We own the factory, and when you own the factory, almost anything's possible.
Find out what the factory advantage can do for you. There's nothing as comforting as the factory prices at Happy Sleeper.
The big game. It's about reaching your goals, surpassing them, and setting new ones. It's about creating the standard by which others are measured. And in the end, you know that it's not just another sale, but a landmark that will stand strong for all time. Doherty's Homecoming Sale. Let's get it on.
The silence is over, and the time is now to make a great deal during the Silent Salesperson Sale at Campus Erickson in Superior through Saturday. Discounts up to $5,000. No payments for 90 days OAC. 1.9% special financing on certain models. Give the Campus sales team your desired stock number, present your trade, and we'll arrange your financing. It's that easy. Hurry, the savings won't last. Prices return to normal Monday, September 14th. So get over to Campus Erickson, your friends in the car business.
George Kessler's weather is certified by the American Meteorological Society. Today's weather is brought to you by Cellular One.
It has been an interesting day, and it's getting more interesting. Oh, I'm a transparent person, David. You can see right through me. Temperature is 67 degrees. The dew point is 60, moving right along. Now we're going to try this again. Nope. All right, well, we're going to try a variety of things, and we're not going to tell you about any of them. It's our big secret. Anyway, pressure is falling 29.99. Relative humidity is 78%. Numbers across the region. Take a look. We didn't make these up. 99 degrees in Pierce, South Dakota. It's 67 in the Twin Ports, 77 degrees up in Ely. I'll tell you, the big difference around here is the lake. And you know, they always say, oh, the lake makes big impression. We often use that as some form of excuse. This time, it's the absolute truth. 79 degrees in Ironwood, 81 down in Hayward, 83 degrees in the Twin Cities. But again, that big heat's knocking on the doorstep. Spoke to a couple of friends out in Grand Forks. They said it's been excruciatingly hot all day. Well, here it is. It's a lineup. 40s and 50s to the north. You have to peek there into the northwestern territories of Canada, but there is some very cool air making its way down from Canada, and that's going to be stomping into our region sometime late in the weekend. And believe me, you will notice when that air stomps in. We have 80s and 90s, though, just to our south, and that contrast is going to be fueling the potential for a little bit of rainfall activity as we go into the weekend. But I don't think it's going to be a lot. There's not a ton of moisture for it to work with. Satellite picture in motion. Down to the south, first things, you can't really see the fog that we're experiencing right now in the satellite picture, and other than that, there's not much to be seen. A little trail of cloudiness there through northern parts of North Dakota, now heading into northwestern Minnesota. That is a weak front that's coming on by. To the south, a small swirl of cloudiness in the Gulf of Mexico is all that we have of Tropical Depression number 8. Although it's very small, it is potentially quite potent. We'll keep our eyes on that next couple of days. Could pose a danger to our friends down in Texas. Now, here we are back again with the unpronounceable storm. This is George with an S. This is the one out in the Atlantic Ocean. And again, it's not threatening land, but it sure does look pretty, so I thought I'd throw it into the newscast. Winds are 75 miles an hour. This is now Hurricane George with an S. And congratulations. Also, I want to say thanks. I've had a few people writing in on the internet with some suggestions, and a variety of suggestions, really, but some of them have been about how to pronounce that hurricane name. Haven't quite found the one yet, but we're working on it. Down to our south, a few showers and thunderstorms through the Ohio Valley. They have not been particularly vigorous, although tropical rainfall across Florida has been on the copious side. Let's get in close. Now, this would be a little easier if I could jump out there and show you what I was talking about, but just go with me. You see those little lines that are right there through the arrowhead early in the morning? That is the warm front going up and through. We had a record high up in International Falls. It was 83 today. But look close to the Twin Ports. You see that band right there? It's forming and then slowly collapsing back toward the lake. That is the battle, warm air versus cool lake air. And you can see the cool lake air is being forced out, although it's now staging a vigorous comeback late in the day, trying to hang in here. Certainly by tomorrow, though, the lake air will be scrubbed out, replaced by that weak front moving in from the north. Look at the fronts. We have 3 of them on the map. Now, going into Saturday, that first one that's going to be going through tonight will wash out. Then we'll have a little storm system and then a big cold front coming down from the north. When I say chilly, I mean chilly for the weekend. Here's your forecast. No, well, yeah, chilly. Actually, it'll be good chilly weather. Get the cornbread going, you're in good shape.
I'm ready.
Temperatures in the middle 50s tonight. It's going to be very pleasant. Enjoy it if you like to spend evenings out, because I suspect that along about Sunday night into Monday, you're not going to like the weather that I have in store. Mighty mild for tomorrow, just because I like saying that. Temperatures will not be too much different around the lake, although inland areas down about 5 to 10 degrees. Looking ahead to Saturday, now we're starting to cool off as that next front enters the region. Temperatures right around 65, 70. There's a chance of a little bit of shower activity, but that's it. A quick look at the 5-day forecast.
Ooh.
Those are the highs, and I'm being optimistic.
I'm looking at the rain every day, too.
And those are more of those scattered showers. If you remember, you think back to last fall, people forget about this. You get those big cold fronts that go by. You'll have those gray clouds. They roll over in these little streams. It'll sprinkle on you for 5 minutes, and the sun will come out, and then 5 minutes later it'll sprinkle. That kind of stuff.
We'll
No
watch
big rain.
for snow.
We may be talking about
Maybe
some way up
early
north.
Mornings. Never know.
A few flurries.
Thanks, George. Well, a dream house more than 2 years in the making has come to Pike Lake.
The homeowners opened the doors this afternoon as part of a charity fundraiser.
But News 6 got a sneak peek of what this 4-acre Duluth beauty has to offer. Tonight, Corrine Winter takes us on a tour.
Pike Lake now has a new attraction. This 4-acre dream home built right next to the water is already being nicknamed Pike's Pond. Some of its features include a large boathouse off the lake and a 3-car attached garage. If you're already impressed by what's on the outside, wait until you see what this house has to offer on the inside.
The glass is 2.5 inches thick. There's lights in between it. Below us is the glass ceiling. So right now we're right over the top of the downstairs bar. There's fluorescent lights inside, so this floor is lit from the floor up, and downstairs is lit from the ceiling down.
And every room in the house is computerized, so you can control the room temperature or program the lighting. And a state-of-the-art cable system allows you to watch anything you choose.
We take all the signals, remodulate them together, just like a cable TV company would, and then rebroadcast them. And so we're rebroadcasting our own stations.
Among the security features available inside this house are closed-circuit TVs that allows you to watch your favorite television program or keep an eye on what's going on in the rest of the house. And for the Andersons, keeping an eye on their 2 children is especially important. This state-of-the-art indoor swimming pool has many built-in safety features.
When we arm only this zone, we can have the rest of the house totally functional. And if the kids or anybody else goes into the pool room, when we told them when we don't want them in there, or without our permission, as you enter it.
The Andersons have decided to share their dream house with the public. Money raised during the upcoming tours will go to local charities. In Pike Lake, Corrine Winter, News 6.
Wow. Well, you know, the Andersons didn't want to give away how much they've invested in their futuristic dream house. Roger would say he owns his own construction company, and he did a lot of the labor himself.
Well, we did too when we built ours, and it saved a lot of money. So, but for $10, you can tour this house Friday or Saturday from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m.
We'll be there.
Tom Hansen joins us now with a sports preview.
Sammy Sosa in action, could break number 64 going for it today. There's a tie, 63 between him and McGuire. He was in action. We'll have more on that, and we'll also debut the News 6 Sports Up North newspaper prep football poll. That and more when we come back.
How many phones do you use in a day? Simplify your life with one phone, the premier digital service from Cellular One. At work, at home, and all along the way, one phone is the simple wireless solution. Advanced features make one phone more versatile than hardwired phones and more affordable than ever. Around the clock and across the Northland, count on one phone to simplify your life. Call Cellular One now.
Hang on to your senses for the new chocolate rock from Dairy Queen. Your ears buzz when you crack through that chocolate shell. Your nose tingles over hot fudge surrounding that DQ soft serve. Your tongue does the tango. It's cold, it's hot, it's crunchy with toasted almonds. Your eyes spin when they see more hot fudge and toasted almonds. And when you scoop up the last of this treat, you realize you want another. The chocolate rock treat. Hurry in and get one for just $1.99 only from Dairy Queen. It's what your senses crave.
I've worked this farm for 40 years, and now my son does too. It's a good, honest way to make a living. I saw in the paper that Norm Coleman said that saving the Minnesota family farm in the new global economy doesn't make sense. If you ask me, Norm Coleman doesn't make sense. I know what a good crop looks like, what hard work feels like, and I know that Norm Coleman is wrong to write off the family farm. After all, even in his global economy, people have to eat.
Get it! Up to $750 cash back on 98 Chevy half-tons.
Gotta get it! The cash back is big!
$2,000 factory cash back on Chevy S10 trucks.
Gotta get it! I repeat, $2,000 cash back!
On every 1998 Chevy S10 in stock.
Gotta get it, gotta get it! It's Chevy clearance time!
With big cash back!
Or financing less than 1%.
And that means big savings.
Get it at your Chevrolet dealer.
Gotta get it! Now!
And now, sports with Tom Hansen. Today's sports are brought to you by RJ Sport and Cycle.
Major League Baseball home run chase was all tied up at 63 heading into this afternoon's Cubs-Padres game. 63 for McGuire, 63 for Sammy Sosa. Sammy nailing number 63 late last night in grand fashion. A grand slam home run to give the Cubs the win. Here this afternoon, in his first 3 at-bats, he has failed to homer. He grounded out, and here he flies out to left field for the Cubs. No home runs in his first 3 at-bats. Of course, we'll have an update on any Sosa home runs and the final score on this game. Right now, it's 2-2 in the 7th inning between Chicago and San Diego. Now, the Brewers will play a big part in the home run race. McGuire and the Cardinals will be at County Stadium this weekend. And after they leave, Sammy Sosa and the Cubs come to town. Milwaukee has already sold 225,000 tickets for that 2-game series. In football, the Proctor-Hermantown football rivalry takes a new twist this year. Hermantown's home game tomorrow night will be played in Proctor. Bleachers were torn down at Cordy Beach Field last month, forcing the game to be played elsewhere. The Hawks' final 3 home games, however, will be played at home. The coaching staff is treating this home game just like any road game.
It has to be a mental thing where we're going to just get by that stuff and concentrate on hitting and doing the right technique and concentrating on our plays. If that's a factor, you know, then you're going to have trouble in this conference because you have to go to Crosby and you have to go to International Falls and go down to Public School Stadium. And, you know, this team, we talked about the mental challenge of not letting those things bother you because you are defending a championship.
The Proctor Rails practice for the final time today before the big game. Tonight on News 6 at 10, we'll have the Proctor outlook on this classic battle. In NFL notes, Chris Carter is still limping, but the Minnesota Vikings hope their Pro Bowl wide receiver will recover in time for Sunday's game against Detroit. Carter missed practice yesterday, but he's made significant progress. We'll have Sunday's game against the Lions here on News 6, and the coaches feel Detroit is much better than their 0-2 record.
Randall Cunningham will get the start this week when we go against Detroit, a team that is 0-2 right now, but obviously is a lot better than 0-2 and has the defending rushing leader in Barry Sanders, and also the guy that's caught more passes in the last 4 years than any receiver in the league, and Herman Moore. And so that's going to be a big test for us.
Now, the Packers hit the road to face Cincinnati Sunday. Dorsey Levens will not be playing due to a broken leg, and quarterback Brett Favre took a big hit and stayed in the game. His coach was amazed.
Usually on a hit like that with most quarterbacks, they're down for a while. Honestly, they're down, because it's a tribute to his strength and his toughness that he was able to do that, because that was a good one. What that does to his team is positive.
In prep boys soccer action today, Superior traveled to Proctor to face the Rails. Coach Frank Bruce had his team ready to take on the Spartans in the first half. Rails goalie Bob Sawyer would see a lot of action early, stopping this reverse shot by Spartans forward David Stock. Superior would get their chance later in the half when sophomore defenseman Gerald Hagelin took advantage of some confusion in front of the Rails net to put the Spartans up 1-0. That's the last score. We have 1-0 in the first half. We'll have a final score tonight on News 6 at 10. Tonight, we debut the News 6 Up North Newspaper Network Prep Football Poll. Sports editors and writers, along with the News 6 Sports Department, will compile a weekly football poll. We include both Minnesota and Wisconsin teams and all classes are combined. Just 11-man football teams, however, will be picked. The Up North Newspaper Network includes 9 papers throughout the Northland. Duluth Central is this week's top pick at 2-0. Deer River 2nd, Cook County 3rd, Ashland 4th, Hermantown 5th. Rounding out the other top 5, Duluth-Denfeld 6th, Greenway 7th, Barnum 8th, International Falls 9th, Silver Bay 10th. We'll have more on this tonight on News 6 at 10. So, Dave, Michelle, it's going to be a lot of fun, you know, progressing throughout the football season and see how teams wind up when it comes to the Prep Bowl.
Great idea.
Editors from the Murphy McGinnis papers, the Up North Newspaper Network from around the region.
Yep.
And Tom, picking their favorite teams.
John's helping out.
Okay, hike.
There you go.
Yeah, hike.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
When we set out to build the world's best ATV, we chose our role model carefully. The new Big Bear and Big Bear 4x4 from Yamaha. 'Cause out here, bears rule.
See the huge selection of ATVs on sale now at RJ Sport and Cycle.
Do you find yourself spending a lot of free time wondering about garage doors and openers? Who invented them? Who's built and installed more than anyone? And who would you call if you needed one?
Get a life.
The genuine, the original overhead door. What else do you need to know?
For the best selection, the best prices, the best service, and the best trade-in allowances, nobody does it better than Egerbrecht Chevrolet. The temperatures may be falling, but the prices are heating up on the best lease vehicles in the area. Lease a brand new 99 Geo Prism for just $199 a month. Or how about this 98 CK Extended Camp pickup just in time for the fall hunting season? Lease it for just $259 a month.
At the dealership you can trust, Egerbrecht Chevrolet, where you, the customer, are always #1.
Last year, it began live. This year, it will blow you away.
Come on, out of the way.
It happens just once a year. Now, a countdown has begun
Welcome to County General.
to the television event America's been waiting for.
Gas covered in dynamite.
The clock is ticking.
That black box of bomb.
Time is running out until
2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Let's go out now!
an all-new season of ER begins next Thursday on NBC.
Pets can be our best and most faithful friends.
So join me, Maureen Tallarico from News 6 for the Humane Society's 6th annual Walk for Animals.
Bring your furry friend for a hike along Duluth Scenic Lake Walk, beginning at Leif Erikson Park at 9.
There's something for every animal lover at the Humane Society's 6th annual Walk for Animals.
Mark Mallory joins us now with a sneak peek at what's coming up tonight on News 6 at 10.
That's right, David, Michelle. Fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go for a ride of a lifetime. Now, tonight at 10, find out what it's like to go 500 miles an hour in an F-16.